Hello, everybody. We are closing in on the end of the three-game week. Here come your round 18 championship predictions. The games are coming thick and fast, so we'll get straight to the predictions. We'll do the scores on the doors at the end. It's a big good morning to the great Sam Parkin. And you're up first, mate. Oxford versus Ipswich. And you are going to be on co-coms on Sky Sports.
Yeah, the most hated man inside the Kassam on Friday night. Hate's a strong word. Maybe not.
The referee will get more grief than you.
I did turn out for Ipswich and score a few goals away from home, albeit. So hopefully hate's a bit strong there. But definitely from the Oxford United fans, being an ex-Swindon player.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So hopefully I can do a good job, a sterling job on the commentary, just to soften that on the way in and the way out of the stadium.
Just don't read social media, mate.
I don't anyway. No, I'm looking forward to it. Should be good. You know that I'm a big fan of Gary Rowett, and I'm a big fan of Ipswich when they are playing well under McKenna. So really looking forward to it. I think Oxford are in a bit of a difficult spot at the moment. I anticipated them having a bit more of a comfortable first half to the season, shall we say, and it's looking quite precarious all of a sudden. But I think
they've gone into the bottom three last night with Sheffield United's win.
But I think they're a better team maybe than the results are showing, and they'll be buoyed after that late equaliser. However, Ipswich are winning on the road consistently. I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win.
Yeah, I think I'm going to back Ipswich as well. I can't see Oxford winning. I mean, maybe Oxford could pull out a 1-0 or something. So I think it could be an unhelpful draw. But I think I'm probably going to go with the Ipswich win. Ipswich are going to keep a clean sheet. They kept a clean sheet at Hull, to be fair. And Hull have been superb attacking-wise, haven't they? I quite like your 2-1, actually, boss. I'll take a 1-0 Ipswich win with that being said.
Let me just say quickly, there is no rhyme or reason to Oxford really and predicting them, because Sheffield United they beat, didn't they? Last knockings of last season at home, and there was another big scout they took in their kind of road to survival. So I'm just caveating my prediction and your prediction with the fact that I think Oxford, when they get it right defensively, they can take big scalps. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I think you have to back Ipswich here.
To add to that, with Gary and with Oxford, it feels like the more trouble they're in, the more likely some weird Sterling clean sheet win comes out of nowhere. He's good at that, isn't he? It's Leicester versus Sheffield United. Ooh, if this was at Bramall Lane, I think I would back Sheffield United. I did Leicester Southampton in midweek. Leicester got well beaten, but it was just one of those weird games where everything went wrong and it was done in 30 minutes. That being said, they're not playing well. Sheffield United are on for a 9-point week, but I don't think they're going to do it, Sam. I'm going to go down the middle. I'll play a 1-1. Can't separate the two.
I've got some ground to make up, haven't I? We'll reveal that in a few minutes. I don't see Sheffield United winning at Leicester. I don't think they're in that place yet, despite two pretty resounding victories in the last 7 days. Oh, I'm going to go for Leicester here. I don't fully believe or trust what I'm saying, but I'm going to go for Leicester to find something here and win narrowly 1-0. And I know there's big problems, and I know Sheffield United are improving, but big games, keep coming, Championship, you know the script, 1-0 Foxes.
Portsmouth, Bristol City. I mean, good luck with this one, mate. I haven't got a clue what to say. So Pompey lost 3-0 at Sheffield United, but it was that classic handball on the goal line, red card, penalty, game over as soon as that happens. Bristol City lost at Wrexham, who are defending quite a long undefeated streak. So I don't know. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, I mean, there's such a, I suppose, onus on Portsmouth to take points at home, given their plight on their travels. Well beaten. Obviously turned up in a big way against Millwall recently. I think it's a draw or it's a home win, despite Bristol City obviously having some big success away from home early part of the season. I think I'm going to go down the middle here just because I hate predicting Bristol City, especially on the road, because I know how capable they can be. I'm going to go 1-1 here. I think that's not the worst outcome for either.
That's difficult because I decided as you were talking I was going to flip your scoreline, but I can't because you're gone 1-1.
5-5.
Which, I mean, I could do a Desmond. Actually, that's not a bad shout because Pompey are up and at 'em. Bristol City are quite open. I don't mind the draw. You can see Bristol City pressing their way to a win, and you can see Pompey bullying their way to a win, can't you? I'll do that then, Sam. I'll play the Desmond because you could get goals in this one, couldn't you? Pompey 2, Bristol City 2. Stoke v Hull. Hull back-to-back defeats for the week. Stoke are in second. And the good thing with Stoke is they do have defeats, but in the last 8 games, they've won 5 and lost 3. So there's no draws slowing them up. We saw Ipswich keep the clean sheet against Hull. Sorba Thomas back in the goal contributions, even though he scored 2 crosses, bless him. I think I'm going to go for the clean sheet win for Mark Robbins, Sam. And it's always safe to go 1-0 Stoke at Bet365, isn't it? 1-0 Stoke.
Yeah, I was quite pleased with, the narrative I built ahead of Stoke Charlton. I just really fancied Stoke after Charlton got thumped by Southampton.
You were dead right. Yeah.
In that game. And I did have 3-0 written down, but I think I scribbled it out because I thought I was getting ahead of myself and I put 2-0. So I missed out by a goal there. Hull are obviously a really good home side this season, despite that defeat to Ipswich. But QPR beat them last time out. Stoke are scoring goals. They're strong. I think it's going to continue here. I'm going to go for a 3-1 home victory.
Unstoppable Coventry versus leaky Charlton.
Cool. This would compound a really tough week, wouldn't it, for Charlton, should they not get any points here?
Nathan Jones didn't used to manage Coventry. He seems to just come a cropper against teams he used to manage, right?
Yeah. What's going to happen here?
Coventry are going to win, Sam. Obviously.
Yeah, Charlton are conceding goals for fun. 7 last 2 games? Have they got it in their armoury to keep Coventry quiet? I don't think so. Sometimes if this was a month ago, I'd have said probably, 1-0. The odd goal shades this because of Charlton's strength. I can't see it happening here. 4-1 Coventry.
Wow.
Can it keep happening? Can it keep happening? I don't know. If they're sticking 4 past Middlesbrough away from home.
They're superb, mate. Yeah.
And that's not, that's not to say, I mean, I've said it enough when me and you have chatted. I'm a big supporter of the work that Nathan Jones has done at Charlton. I think he's one of the best with those resources. So they'll turn it around, but yeah, I think this is going to compound a tough week for them.
Before I predict another Coventry win, here's a little challenge to you, Sam, and everybody in the comments. At some point, Coventry are going to lose a stupid random game like 3-2 to someone. Someone's got to get it because they won't lose a game we expect them to lose.
Is Wrexham the only defeat?
Yeah, and you have to score 3 goals to beat Coventry.
And they had like 2 or 3 major injuries or suspensions
to
the back four, yeah. And then, I mean, the one anomaly so far was the home game against Hull on the opening day, was it not? When they had, 15 odd shots, chances, and Hull managed to escape with a goalless draw. So that's the one time. You can
put that down to just round 1 nonsense, though, can't you?
That's the one time when the strikers have, do you
remember the Norwich game where Norwich had about 1 shot and Coventry had 30 and it was a 1-1 draw or something. Look, I'm just going to keep backing Coventry. They've won 10 out of 11 and we do the Championship Check-In podcast next week. We need to have a serious conversation about them. Are we going to be talking about them like we talk about Marco Silva's Fulham and, some record-breaking stuff because that's where it's going. Easy for me to say now. You've gone all in on a 4-1. I'll go with the comfortable workaday 2-0 that we like. Sam and Nathan Jones will be very pleased to get this week over. Middlesbrough versus Derby. Now, this is where I probably need your insight, Sam. So the new manager was kind of announced and did kind of the game with Coventry in midweek. I guess this is really his first game, though. Will he have taken training yet?
I wouldn't envisage so. Today might be his first day. When did they play? Tuesday?
They played Tuesday and he got announced on Tuesday morning. I
would imagine they probably would have had Wednesday off to get their head around it, for him to get his head around it more so. And then today they'll be in for a lightish session. So today will probably be his first day out there, going through some tactical stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So my point being, we're hardly going to see. It's still going to be a Rob Edwards 85 Ash Middlesbrough, not a Kim Helberg Middlesbrough. Mate, all the trends. I don't know if either of us are going to be brave enough here. All the trends say Derby in this one. Middlesbrough, Derby at the Riverside. Middlesbrough trending down. I think since the opening 4 games, they're 14th in the form table. And Derby did exactly what you need to do after the end of a win streak. After they lost, straight back on the bike and they got the win. I'm going to be a bit of a wimp and land on the draw. I wonder if you'll go for Derby. Do you know? I'll go 0-0.
I was going to go in with a draw. I think you have to put into account just how well Derby are playing. I think the one thing at this point of the season that I got right was that Millwall and Derby were going to have good starts to the season, and those two are flying right now.
Mate, you got plenty more right than that. I've just been exemplary on the predictions.
I think I did a little thing on another podcast about 6 weeks ago about teams that you expected to rise up, and Derby were probably bottom 3, bottom 4 at that stage. So they've really found some momentum. And I think you have to factor that in here. Maybe Borough to go ahead, but Derby to equalise, and it be a little bit of a reality check that Middlesbrough are going to have to rediscover their mojo a little bit under the new manager. So 1-1.
Millwall versus Southampton. 4 wins in a row for Tonda Eckert.
That's tricky, isn't it? I mean, they got the win, Millwall against Sheffield Wednesday, but took a while. There was a Ivanovic goal ruled out just prior to them finding the opening goal. I think in that game they were knocking on the door. I watched a little bit of it. Won the game that you'd expect them to win. I mean, they've lost catastrophically, haven't they, a couple of times at home to big score lines. I'm not suggesting that's going to happen, but I think you have to back Southampton here, and I'll go the Saints courtesy of a solitary goal. 1-0 Southampton.
I'm pulling a face because that's a scribble. Yeah, I've got your exact narrative that I'm going to go with the win streak with Southampton. Just keep moving. It'll be 5 in a row then, wouldn't it? The greatest job interview we've ever seen.
It's hard to imagine Southampton are going to go from putting 5 past Charlton down the road and then 3 against Leicester at home and then not finding the net at the Den. But maybe it's you can't keep plundering the amount of goals.
Cienza, the Brazilian left
he's class.
Winger, he looks a player, doesn't he?
Class.
Well, I liked the idea that they'd just keep the win streak going and it'd be by 1-0. So I'm going to have to go as low margin as I can then, which would be 2-1. So we have stupidly set ourselves up for a public apology if Millwall win a home game, which is always likely.
And it's mad because they're 4th this morning, aren't they? They're 4th and we've both just gone for an away win. For a side
Saints have won 4 on the bounce and they're a U1 parachute. We're not being too crazy, are we?
Who 3 weeks ago beat QPR, and they won the game, but it was horrible and they didn't look like a top championship team by any means. So it shows you how quickly things can change.
Oh man, Norwich v QPR. By the way, we get a lot of crap when we get it wrong. I literally said Norwich will take the lead and Oxford will equalise in injury time at the end of the game. So I have had some slaps on the back in the comments for that. I wonder if exactly the same thing will happen. And the worst thing happened last night for Norwich. QPR got a great away win at Blackburn. Oh, this is hard because QPR are far more viable and at it than you can argue. I mean, I know Norwich are absolutely terrible and it's all just mental for Norwich now, isn't it? You just can't. Like playing snooker and you can't pot a ball unless it's right over the pocket. I hate it because I feel sorry for our Norwich friends. I've got back QPR, Sam, I think. Oh, it's horrible. 3-1, Rangers.
Wow. It's mad, isn't it?
Are you not going that way?
No, it's mad. I just still don't. Maybe I need to do a bit of reading up and a bit of watching, but yeah, it's hard for me to put myself in a place where Norwich are that bad in the Championship. Do you know what I mean?
But the psychological thing we're talking about, they're not that bad at players, clearly not. But sorry, continue, mate.
No, Yeah, it was a stodgy win for QPR at Blackburn, but a brilliant win. I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 0-0 here. I'm not convinced. I mean, it's never a scoreline that I probably would ever envisage between these two sides across the last few seasons. But I think right now, that's the best I can come up with. I backed Norwich to win against Oxford, and I very, very nearly called it by a 0-0. I think that would be a pretty good outcome for Rangers, given the week that they've had. 7 points from 3, that would be, wouldn't it? Which would be a terrific return after a bit of a lean spell.
Sheffield Wednesday versus Preston. Michael Smith derby.
I feel like that fixture's
Paul
already
Valentin.
I feel like that fixture's already been played this season. I'm seeing something in my mind's eye. Who was it that raced into a lead at Hillsborough? I'm sorry, but I'm going to go down that route again. I'm going to go for Preston to be goal laden in a fashion that you don't normally associate with them, maybe away from home. 3-1, Preston.
It's happened a couple of times, hasn't it? I think maybe, are you thinking of Bristol City who got...
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'll tell you what, the reason I'm thinking that, because Jakobsen was amongst the goals when he, Emil Rees.
And Stoke did something similar. I think they're a goal up in a minute. I still think it might be typical Preston, and it might be just the 1-0 win. I think there'll be... I mean, look, they faced 24 shots at Watford, and we know Watford's individual quality, and managed to see out their goal and take a point at a very good home side. So I'll just go with the predictable 0-1, and as we always say, hopefully some good news off the pitch from Sheffield Wednesday soon. West Brom versus Swansea. Oh man! Now West Brom were pretty good for quite a chunk of the game against Birmingham. So I think they're going to beat Swansea. West Brom are not a good side because they can't put an entire game together, can they? They'll be good for 30 minutes, 40 minutes like they were last night. Really went after Birmingham as well. And Sam, you've rightly kind of pointed out that Ryan Mason's sides have been a little bit bland. Do you know what I mean? Not, it's like, what are you? What are you doing? Are you pressing? Are you counter-attacking? And they pressed and they transitioned really well, and Johnston's great, but they never seem to put the whole thing together. But Swansea are in a big muddle. So I'm going to give West Brom the win there. I'm damning with faint praise, aren't I? And they don't make much. 1-0 Baggies.
Yeah, I think I'm with you here. I did feel it was going to be a tough season for Swansea from the outset.
What do you make of Vitor Matos as a hire?
I don't know a great deal about him at this point. I'm going to be poring over various news articles today and tomorrow, getting my head around the weekend ahead. But like any change at this stage of the season, even like Middlesbrough, it's unhelpful, isn't it, having to change this early? So, and I'd imagine he's going to want to change the playing style quite substantially in the weeks ahead.
He's a Jurgen Klopp guy from Liverpool development.
Yeah,
keeps talking about aggression and counter pressing, so he's definitely going to change the style.
Yeah, absolutely. So that can have some short-term pain, can't it? Maybe for long-term gain. So I'm with you, mate. I think there's a lot to sort out there, and I wasn't enamoured with the majority of the business. I don't think it's a great squad, and I think they lose here against the West Brom team, who, you're right, because I was flicking this between that and Champions League last night, were very good for an hour, it would seem, because I fancied Birmingham strongly, and they did not start playing until the tail end of that game. 2-1 West Brom. I'm with you.
Wrexham versus Blackburn. Dom Hyam derby.
Yeah, I mean, very, very lacklustre Blackburn last night, and obviously their major successes have been on the road, haven't they? So, yeah, you have to factor that in here.
I think Wrexham is the longest unbeaten streak in the division as well. I think they're up to 7 now. I'm going to check that as you talk.
And I think I read they've conceded 9 goals in the last 11, maybe.
Very good.
So they're flying defensively. I quite like the 2-1 again. I think it's a draw or it's a home win. I don't see Blackburn winning there. I'll go 2-1 Wrexham.
Well, being you flagged up the excellent Wrexham defensive work, I think I might take the 1-0. Was Big Kiefer back
He was, because
last night? Did he
there was
start?
one that was slung in. I just flicked over and there was one that was slung in to the far post about half an hour in, and he was up and he looked like he was going to power it in, and someone just nipped in front of him and nicked it off his head. So he was definitely there.
In which
Towering
case,
at the far post.
yeah, I might go more comfortable then. Well, Blackburn have been good. I quite like your 2-1, actually. I can see where you've gone there. In which case, I'll take the 1-0 Wrexham, which, they're going to be troubling those playoff spots if this run keeps going, aren't they? Finally, this is a Monday nighter. Little treat for you. Birmingham versus Watford. I mean, either of us going to be brave enough to call another 4 goals for Birmingham, who are a bit Jekyll and Hyde with home and away. I like Watford, though. Watford are like my guilty pleasure, Sam. I just find them good fun. But they're not reliable, are they? But they will score. I won't go 4-1. I'll go 3-1 Blues, which will madden their fans, because why can't they do it away from home?
Let's go for a brilliant, fun-filled Monday night.
Go on, Sam.
On the box, which would be great for everyone watching. I'm going to go 3-2 Birmingham, 5-goal thriller.
And that will win you a bonus point, Sam Parkin. Get involved in the comments. Let us know your predictions. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the thumbs up. I've been saving this because I don't want to punish Sam with it too much. Bit of a masterclass from me, mate. We say 10's a good score. I got 14.
Wow.
14-6 last time out with the 3 bob-ons. Norwich 1, Oxford 1, Swansea 1, Derby 2. West Brom 1, Birmingham 1. So, yeah.
Can I just say...
7 in a row, mate. 14-2, I'm up.
I don't know anything about anything at the moment. I'll tell you what, though. I had Norwich 1, Oxford 0. That was
and I only went for the draw because you went first.
That was last minute.
I also wanted my other bob on Derby. You had 1-0, which I wanted.
I had Southampton 3, Leicester 1. I had, there was, and what was the other one that I spoke of earlier? I had Stoke 3, Charlton 0 written down, and I changed it to 2.
Sam, my friend, if you hadn't have been so brutal to me in the last 2 years, I would have some level of sympathy for you.
No. I'm not looking for sympathy, and I'm not making excuses. But if you get 6 outcomes correct, that's normally a decent return. Yeah. So I'm not going to be too harsh on myself, but I've factored that in today with the prep that I've done. You're going to get smashed this week.
No public apologies as well, which is always nice for a week. Sam, just 30 seconds if you can, because I think the viewers will be interested. So if you're doing Oxford Ipswich tomorrow, what does today and tomorrow look like in terms of your preparation? Do you make specific notes, or is it broad bullet points? Are you looking at individual players or long-term patterns?
I think everyone does it differently. Every commentator, every pundit, co-commentator, but you get a stat pack obviously sent over, which will be...
Who sends that? The EFL? Or the TV company?
Yeah. So I'll read through that and I'll take anything that I want from that. But generally, I've got my own prep that I'll do for every game. Which
iPad or handwritten?
I handwrite it, but I might do a few notes on the computer as well. But mine generally will look the same, and as everyone else's will. I like to just have form, league table, last couple of formations, last couple of 11s, goal scorers, assist makers. I like all that just in front of me, and then I'll go on and do a little bit more digging, probably through podcasts, through watching footage.
Press conferences today as well,
Press conferences, from watching footage, from different game previews where you can pick up stats and what have you, and then get a general feeling of how both teams are doing and who's on song, who's out of form. And just, I think that's the most important thing, to go in with the understanding of kind of where the team is right now, and what the sentiment is towards them from the supporters, and then that gives you the feeling to set the right tone, I think. But yeah, everyone's different, but I suppose I'm just a creature of habit. So my couple of pages of prep that I'll have laid out on the gantry will be pretty similar from game to game.
Brilliant. So I normally say when we're on a watch along, Sam, that you can turn the sound off on the TV and listen to me. But what I'll say tomorrow night, sound on TV, listen to both me and Sam. Going to
Do
be
a half
game.
each. Do a half each.
I just have them both on, and
Different
hopefully
drinks for different needs.
Hopefully we're not saying completely. I always love it when you're on co-coms and I'm like, what's Sam said about that penalty call? We better not say the complete opposite on that. But it's fine if we disagree on it. There we go. Guys, get involved in the comments. Make sure you support Sam on the co-coms tomorrow. Ipswich, Oxford, Ipswich, excuse me, and I'll be on the watch long. We'll be back for a proper championship check-in. Being there's a game on Monday night, we'll probably wait until the middle of next week. So tune in for that. Thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you for the support, and we will see you next week.